Okay, Salakia, I'm back. You know, received a phone call from some spam number, Satan fucking with the lesson, but nonetheless. And he reads, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven." What day is that, man? The day of the Lord, man. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. The day of the Lord is going to be when those thermonuclear missiles are shot off, man. And Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. Okay, as well as various other parts of the earth are going to be hit by those thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay, continuing on, all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, and then shall leave them neither root nor branch. Right, so everyone that does wickedly, and everyone that scoffed, mocked, and sinned against the Lord, the majority of the people being here in Babylon the Great, but various other parts of the earth, they're going to get hit with thermonuclear fire, man. And this place shall never be inhabited again, man, pursuant to Isaiah the 13th chapter, man. This is the fate of Babylon the Great, man. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Now, who are the Medes, man? The Medes today would be the modern day Russians, man, because this is talking about Babylon, and if you look at an ancient world map, Babylon would be where modern day Iraq is, man. Okay. And we know that modern day Iraq is still being inhabited and still being lived in to this day. So it can be talking about that. Okay. And with the ancient Medes, with the Japhites, and we know they didn't have the current capabilities to do away with the whole country. But if you look at an ancient world map, the Medes is where modern day Russia is. And we know that Russia has the thermonuclear capability through the Spirit of the Lord to completely decimate and destroy this place, man. So continuing on, it reads in Isaiah 13 and 17, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bow shall also dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Right, so the missiles aren't going to be sympathetic and be like, oh, but he's just a kid. Oh, I'm not going to do it, destroy him because he's just a kid. Nah, man. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, and where the righteous cut off, man. So it don't matter, man. You're going to get this work, okay? It does not matter how old you are, what you may have done, what you were on the way to do, man. It doesn't matter, okay? Those missiles are going to destroy you if you have been found unworthy, okay? If you're not destined to receive salvation, you're going to have to be reborn in the kingdom of heaven. That's just how it's going to be. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're a young man or a baby in the womb or a child or an old person. Those missiles are going to destroy you, thus saith the Lord. So this is verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the booty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did the Most High do that? He rained thermonuclear fire down from heaven upon that place, and it was never inhabited again. And a lot of scholars will try to say this is talking about ancient Babylon, but this is a prophecy, man, because ancient Babylon is still standing to this day and inhabited. It's not like it unto Sodom and Gomorrah, where it can't be inhabited because of all the radiation and the sulfur. So this has to be a future prophecy referring to Babylon the Great. Continuing on to verse 20. It shall never be inhabited again. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Going into goats. That's what a satyr is, a goat. All these different cave beasts and wild creatures are going to dwell here in the place because it'll be too uninhabitable for anything else to live here. Okay. It reads, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged, man. Right. Trump over here trying to build this missile defense system, but these missiles are likened unto the Lord's army, man. Spoken of in Joel 2. Okay, and it reads, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So the Lord is telling the prophet Joel to go out there and tell the people that the day of the Lord is near. Blowing the trumpet is what the watchmen used to do if the city was being invaded. So he's blowing the trumpet, warning his people that the Lord is about to come and invade this place, man. And he reads, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning is spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, right? And this is talking about the ICBM missiles, man. A great people and a strong people, man, because these missiles are going to be like anything humanity has ever seen before, man. People haven't seen destruction on this level. That's why the Heavenly Father likens the day of the Lord, the days of the return of Yahushua into the days of Noah, man, because people never seen the earth flood back then before, man. They only seen the water appear on a morning mist. There's like people today have never seen the true capabilities of thermonuclear destruction and Yahushua returning with the angelic host and his new body slaying people and raining down chariot fire. People have never seen that before, man. So there's not going to be another day after this, because after the day of the Lord, the Israelites are going to come into power and take control, and they're going to do away with war, okay, pursuant to Isaiah 2, and pursuant to Haggai, man, where it talks about they're going to beat their swords with the plowshares and their spears and the pruning hooks. Yeah, that's biblical prophecy, because the nations are going to learn war no more. That's in the scriptures, man. So continuing on in verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and a flame burneth, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Going into the missiles, man. Whoever is destined to get hit by the missile is going to get hit by the missile. There is no escape. All right, continuing on, it reads, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Going into the missiles, man. Horses symbolize power, man. Like when you want to know how fast a car goes, you ask how much horsepower does this bad boy have? How much horsepower does it have, man? And that's going to let you know how fast it could go and how much it could pull, man. So continuing on, like the noise of chariots and the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devour the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. On the top of mountains shall they leap. So they're going to leap over different governments and their different systems, man, to get to where they need to get. They're going to be unharmed. And it's going to go into detail in that later on in the verse. Continuing on, it reads, before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness, right? Because they're going to know, like, damn, there's nothing that we can do. What the hell are we going to do? There's thermonuclear missiles on the way, and there is nothing that we can do to stop it. We're dead. You see? So their faces are going to be much pained and be in blackness because they know that there's no hope for them. Right? Continuing on, it reads, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right? So when the missiles are shot off, they're going to go single file right to where they need to be. Okay? They're going to climb over these missile defense systems and climb over these different governments and these different defenses and get through them regardless, like mighty men of war. Ain't nothing going to be able to stop them. Okay? And they're not going to break their ranks, meaning they're not going to malfunction and start running into each other. No. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another, which is pretty much what I just said. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So even if the missile defense system does intercept it and it gets hit with its own defense missile to try to blow it up, it ain't going to work, man, because the spirit of the Lord is going to be in those missiles, man. It ain't going to work. You ain't going to be able to just use your missile defense system to hurl a missile at it and make it explode before it gets there. Nah, man, this isn't going to work because this is the will of the Lord. And it reads, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief, going into the missiles, reaching their target, man, and their destination. Okay? Because once these missiles get to where they need to get, thermonuclear destruction is going to happen, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're going to be all in the city, all in the field. exactly where the Lord ordained them to go, exactly where the Lord needs them to be, man. And there's literally nothing that anyone can do to stop it. Okay, contrary to that golden dome, man, because that's truly why Trump's trying to build it, because he's trying to stop prophecy, but it ain't gonna happen, man. Okay, and it reads, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, and the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right, because there's gonna be so much going on, so many chariots in the sky, missiles in the sky. Okay, Yahweh chariot is gonna be there, and his chariot is bigger than the whole earth. You see? The earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard because of all of the destruction that is going to happen from these thermonuclear missiles. Okay, and it reads, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Right, who can abide it? Who can escape it? Who can be delivered from it besides the elect, man? Ain't no one going to be able to escape it, make it, or receive salvation, lest they be a part of that number. So with that, I'd like to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth, and rule well, peace, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Till the next time I say, Shalom.